Last December was a transformative month for me, in more ways than one. I was a newly single accountant, adjusting to life in my quiet corner down home. The solitude was both a curse and a blessing. After the end of a 2-year relationship, I wasn't sure if I was ready to open myself up to someone new. Still, curiosity, or perhaps loneliness, pushed me to dip my toes back into the world of online dating. I chose Tinder. It felt safe enough. I could swipe through profiles without the pressure of commitment. A few weeks into this new venture, I matched with a woman named Tracy. Her profile was simple. A few unassuming selfies, a love for hiking, and an apparent fondness for cozy nights in. At first, our conversations didn't amount to much. We exchanged a few pleasantries, but nothing substantial came of it. Weeks later, Tracy reappeared in my life through Snapchat. I posted a picture of my undecorated Christmas tree, a reminder of how different the holidays felt without someone to share them with. Tracy replied to my post with an enthusiastic suggestion. Want some help decorating that tree? I'm pretty good with lights. Her offer was unexpected, but it came at a time when I craved human connection. I hesitated briefly, but ultimately agreed. Sure, why not? I replied, half jokingly adding, it's been a while since I had an expert decorator over. She arrived at 9:30 p.m. that Friday, a little later than I'd expected. My first impression of her was a mix of surprise and discomfort. She was taller than her pictures suggested, her presence almost imposing. Her perfume, sharp and cloying, filled the small entryway. Beneath it lingered an unpleasant odor that she'd unsuccessfully tried to mask. Despite this, I pushed my reservations aside. After all, first impressions can be misleading. The evening began awkwardly, as most first meetings do. We started with small talk as I laid out boxes of ornaments and untangled strands of lights. Gradually, the conversation eased, and we found a rhythm. At one point, I went to retrieve a final box of decorations from the crawl space beneath the stairs. As I crouched down, a wave of dizziness swept over me. It wasn't the mild kind of lightheadedness you'd expect from standing too quickly or indulging in a glass of wine. This was deeper, sharper, a sense of detachment from my own body. The sensation was alarming, but not wholly debilitating. When I returned to the living room, Tracy was gone. I called out her name, first casually, then with increasing concern. The house was eerily silent. I assumed she'd left, perhaps embarrassed by the awkwardness of the evening or bored with the task. The realization hit me like a cold wave. I had been drugged. The wine I'd sipped earlier must have been tampered with. Her overwhelming perfume, her peculiar behavior, it all made sense now. The police were sympathetic but ultimately unhelpful. With no security cameras and limited information, there wasn't much they could do. I gave them her name and showed them her profile, but I suspected it was fake. To this day, the memory of that night haunts me. The image of Tracy's silhouette, her cold stare in the flashlight's beam, is etched into my mind. The trust I'd cautiously extended was shattered, replaced by an uneasy vigilance. The Christmas tree remained half decorated that year, a stark reminder of the danger I'd unwittingly let into my home. I've since learned to be more careful, both online and in real life. But every so often, I catch the faintest whiff of a perfume like hers, and my pulse quickens, the shadows of that night stirring once more.